Co-host used to be this social media site thing with some really cool ideas that was kind of similar to Twitter, but even more so Tumblr. And one of the many things it allowed you to do was style your posts however you wanted, because you could use some limited HTML and CSS codes inside of your posts. So, for example, you could make the text in your post a different color. You could use a custom font, and you could even do some trickery to make something completely custom. And here you can see some examples of tricks that people used to format their posts. But the people on the site quickly figured out that with the right combination of HTML and CSS, you could make stuff way, way cooler than just that. And that is what came to be known as CSS crimes. So I think the first CSS crime I ever saw on Co-host was like this device manager thing, where you could click on stuff to reveal more stuff. And I thought at the time that this was like the coolest thing ever, but turns out that this was just the beginning of the journey, because people have made so much cool stuff on Co-host. I want to show you some of the cool stuff I made and some stuff from other people as well. So let's start off with this point and click game by Rykar. So you can see, just by using HTML and CSS, he has made a game where you can click around, move around, pick up items, and do stuff like that. And the way it all works is by using the HTML details element, which is the same thing we saw earlier in the device manager thing. It's a very simple element, so you just click it to show and hide it. And by using it with very clever styling, you can make stuff interactive, so you can see this entire game is just made using that one single trick. And moving on to the next CSS crime, which is this die rolling thing I made, you can see it's using the same trick where when you click on the die, it opens a details element that plays an animation of the die rolling. But here I also use another trick where I animate multiple details elements so that when you click on the die, it's a random roll every time. So you can see how just stacking up these techniques, you can start to make some pretty cool stuff. So next we have this CoQuest project by Cornsicle, where you can actually move around by just clicking the buttons on this NES controller, and you can go to different rooms and read signs and stuff. And the way this project works is that it's using the same details elements as before for the buttons, but it's doing a clever trick where every time you click a button, it's adding 1 pixel of width or height. And in that way, we can store data. So in this case, we're storing the position of the player. And using that, we can sort of make the game dynamic. So, for example, we can't walk through the walls, and we can read the signs and stuff. And I think that this is a very cool example of how you can actually make a game using just HTML and CSS. How you can store the state and move around and have conditional stuff. Here's another project of mine. So this is Blackjack. You can take the cards and play against the dealer. And it has endings with where you win or you lose or stuff. The way this works is that the handing out the cards works the same way as the dice roll. So it's just shuffling between different animations, and whenever you click on it, it's just going to open that specific details element to take out that specific card. And then I'm also using that width storage trick from the previous game example to store which cards you have and to find out whether you won or not. This next one is a project by Mehbark. It's like this Game Boy screen that you can click on to draw stuff on it. And you can see in the comments there are a few people who made some art with it. There's this person who made the egg bug, and this person made a horse. And it's just a really cool example of how inside of a social media post you can have this creative tool almost. It's really cool. So here's another one of my projects. It's called Chosu, and it's like Osu, but it's written entirely in inline CSS and HTML. And the way this works is that each one of these buttons is just one of those details elements. And it just uses some very specific animation timings to make the circles appear and disappear at the right times. And also you'll notice it has like a score counter, and at the end it gives you like a rank and stuff. And the way that works is that it's using the same technique from earlier, where it's using the same width storage technique from earlier. So every time you click on a circle, it adds 1 to the width. And then to display it, I actually use this very clever number display trick, where the height of the thing is converted into a number you can see. And I actually kind of stole that. This chose by SethQRN. And it's a very, very cursed way of displaying numbers, but it works and it looks awesome. And then putting all those tricks together, we have this amazing CSS puzzle box game by Blackle, where there are so many different like interactive elements and mini games and stuff. And something I didn't mention before is that you can actually make stuff draggable by using the resizable CSS style. So you can see this box here, I can move up and down. And actually we're like resizing a div or something, but you can design it in a way where it doesn't look like resizing, and instead it just looks like you're dragging something up and down or however you want. I'm not gonna show you like a full playthrough of this box because it's something you should experience yourself. I'm actually gonna leave a link down below to this list of a lot of these CSS crimes, just so you can try them out yourself. This is a very good list made by Yellow Afterlife. So yeah, thank you for compiling all of this stuff. But now we get to the sad part of the story. So I think I'm gonna start off by just talking about what co-host is and stuff like that. And in the background, I'm just gonna show you random projects and stuff. Co-host started out as this social media platform that has some like really nice ideals in mind. It tries to be ethical and it tries to not be harmful to you. So, for example, it has no ads and no tracking of any kind. It doesn't have an algorithm for the posts. You only see stuff chronologically from people you follow. And also there's like no like counts, there's no follow counts, there's no repost counts or stuff like that. So it doesn't motivate you to make posts that just, you know, get a lot of likes and stuff. It more so motivates you to just post stuff that you think your followers would find cool. And I think this was a really, really nice social media platform to use because it didn't feel like it wanted you to stay on the platform like some other ones do. Twitter, for example, tries to make sure you stay on the platform as much as possible and fight with as many people as possible. YouTube also wants to make sure that after you're done watching this video, there's another one lined up just for you. And God knows what Facebook is doing with their stuff. But the reason all these companies are doing all this stuff trying to keep you on their platform is because they can sell ads and they can make money off of that. The problem with co-host was that it couldn't really make all that much money because the only monetization model they had was offering co-host plus, which gave you some cool extra features, but nothing beyond that. So unfortunately, on September 9th, 2024, they announced that they are shutting down. So they announced that on Tuesday, October the 1st, the entire site will go read-only and you will not be able to post on it anymore. And then until the end of the year, they're gonna keep the servers up, but after that they are shutting everything down and deleting all the data. I saw this announcement, and with only 3 weeks left on the clock until the read-only period starts, I knew that I wanted to create a proper send-off for the site in the form of a CSS crime. So I started work on my most important CSS crime of all time, and 3 weeks later, on the last day of co-host, I posted this. So yeah, this is a 3D environment that you can move around in and interact with, all written in just inline HTML and CSS. You can see the computer, you can use it to browse my old posts, you can open the door, go outside, you can look at this clock which is fully animated to go on forever. And I'm really happy with it. Other people also seem to really like it. And I'm glad I could send off co-host in this way. So that's my last CSS crime, but now that co-host is gone, where can we find CSS crime stuff? And to that I don't really have an answer. So I guess you just have to make your own website and share your own cool websites around. I'm hoping to get this video out before the end of the year, so hopefully you still have time to go around co-host and explore the posts and stuff before it gets fully shut down. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and here's one last co-host CSS crime to end the video.